For today's video, I'll speak about my power rankings for the midfield for Supercoach 2021. So I have a whole bunch of names here, 1st to 8th. These are who I think will be the top 8, and the criteria is total points, and it is a subjective list, so no modelling, anything like that. It's just what I'm thinking based on observation. So yeah, I'll go over the players in the mix. Before I start, just highlight Lockie Neal might seem a little bit low, but I'll try and justify my thinking behind that. But yeah, we'll go over. So Matt Crouch, probably an upgrade target this year, well, definitely. See how he goes coming back from the groin problem, so not sure how long he's out for, but we know he's a capable top 8 player in the lower end. But in the mix, Petrarca, I thought he spent a bit too much time forward in his first game of round 1, so maybe just on the outer, but we'll see. I thought he ran out the games really well in the practice game, the first practice game anyway. Kelly's here because we know he's scoring quite easily be probably he could be top 5 possibly, but durability, same with Fife, durability, so the guys with better durability get the nod over them. McGrath played really well, looks like he's put on a bit more size as well, so one to watch, Andy McGrath. I'm not sure what his inside and outside split is, but we'll wait and see. And Andrew Brayshaw's getting, his time on ground looks actually okay this year, so, and he's the main man in that midfield. Fife's still probably the man, but they want Fife forward a fair bit, so yeah, Brayshaw should get a lot of inside mid-time. Probably, yeah, their mainstay should get the most centre bounces for Freo this year. I have Baz Lanker here as well. Obviously he doesn't really have the role, enough inside time. But with the new rules, and look, I'm never going to write off Bailey Smith. There's no way. So, yeah, that's why he's in the mix. It's very unlikely he makes top 8, but I can't put a line through him. I can't do that. No way. Jared Lyons for his last year deserves to be in the mix, and Travis Boak as well, a high endurance player, so see how he goes. I don't think he'll make top 8 though, but based on his round 1, I guess he deserves a mention. So now we'll go through from 1 to 8 of my top 8. So number 1, and I have clear number 1, is McRae. So with these averages, I have 118 to 128, and so I'm just thinking what their average would be 123, for example. So with McRae, he might lose some mid-minutes at times, but right now he's getting pretty much the max mid-minutes for the Dogs. So yeah, the most CBAs, and I have not watching McRae get max mid-minutes. I think it's quite scary if you don't own him, to be honest. I think I have him as a number 1 mid this year. But yeah, he's just an absolute workhorse, and the rules suit him. For me, he's number 1. I'm very glad that we saw that Amy game, otherwise I probably wouldn't have brought him in, but yeah, once I saw those mid-minutes were there, I just think you have to pick him, even though he loses them, might lose a bit of it at some stage. Second, we have Clayton Oliver. So coming off the shoulder surgery, looks fine. It's only been 1 round, but see how he keeps pulling up throughout the year. That is a slight concern, but we know Oliver last year, as soon as he sort of adjusted his stoppage work, I think maybe halfway through the year, maybe a bit earlier, he started averaging really high, like high 120s, I think, at some point. So Oliver definitely deserves to be number 2 here. Third, we have Zach Merritt. So you guys might be thinking maybe Merritt's a bit high. So first half he went off and then got tagged by Shields. The rules do suit him, and he's getting more mid minutes. There's clear upside here, and the coaches have said, I can't remember which coach at Essendon said that he can take his game to a next level this year in the right age bracket. So the evidence that we've seen from Merritt is really encouraging. But you're going to cop those tags every now and then. But to score 100 odd, still getting tagged, that's completely fine. So equal 4th, I have Neal and Mitchell. So on Lockie Neal, it's very obvious why he's not 1 here. It's because he looks a little bit underdone. Had that calf issue for a fair few weeks in the preseason. So until he shows he's fully fit, he'll definitely make his way up this list. But for the time being, seems a little bit underdone. Already dropped a 70 on the board, which isn't great for him, but just keep an eye on Lockie Neal. But yeah, obviously he was at 135 last year, just can score really quick, so keep an eye on Neal. But yeah, definitely should be high on this list if he wasn't underdone, but that's the only reason I have. And Tom Mitchell, who didn't really look underdone despite limited preseason, but sounds like he's got that power back in his legs, as he said, that he didn't have last year, coming off a broken leg. So with the shoulder surgery, that was quite a long time ago, so that might pull up sore every now and then. So see how he pulls up, similar to Oliver. But nonetheless, it's Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell was pretty much the king before he got injured. So from what I didn't actually see the game, but from what I'm hearing, in that third quarter, 17 touches, he's still Tom Mitchell. He's still got that game, that high handball game, high accumulator, high work rate, high endurance, perfect for Supercoach. So for that reason, he's equal fourth with Mitchell. But yeah, I think we're still getting a read on where Mitchell is at, so we just need to see how he pulls up. So there's still some minor doubt. Sixth, I have Jack Steele. So obviously I'm a big fan of Jack Steele. He did get tagged by Canelio, so was doing really well in the first half in round one, but kind of dropped away. It's not an endurance thing with Steele. I think his endurance is good enough from what I've seen. He was getting to contests, no problem. He was always around the ball, just couldn't get his hands on the ball because Canelio was on him the whole game. So I think to be honest, I think he could be higher, but it's tough competition if you look at the names here. So the only reason why he's sixth, if this was last year's rules, he would be higher, probably top 3. But the problem is he does have a bit of an outside game, but not as much as the guys above him. So he had an interview on radio the other day saying that he wasn't the biggest fan of the rule changes, and that's understandably so. He's a stoppage player. But yeah, he's going to have to adapt, and I think he has adapted a little bit from what I saw in the preseason. But nonetheless, yeah, just because of the rules, he's sixth. I fully expect him to be higher on this list, to be honest, but that's just the way the game's going. 7, we have Bontempelli. So with Bont, he might spend a bit more time forward, and he's still the number 1 tag target, unless maybe Caleb Daniel is, but I don't know how they're different positions, so I'm not sure how teams approach that. But yeah, when Bont gets going, you have to put attention to him. So that's pretty much the only reason why he's probably 7th. And yeah, again, it's really tough competition, a lot of names here. There's a lot of point sharing at the Dogs as well. So I like Bontempelli at 7th, and then 8th we have Sam Walsh. I think I saw enough from Sam Walsh. I do worry his disposal can be a bit off at times. I think he really cleaned that up in the second half of last year. It was just poor in the Amy game. But yeah, it was quite good against Richmond, and yeah, he just runs amok. The endurance is too high for Sam Walsh, so and he knows where to find the footy, inside, outside, and he's getting more inside time this year. So yeah, he runs out games just about better than anyone in the league, probably. So for that reason, Sam Walsh has made the top 8, but yeah, very tough competition, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the names as the season goes on, how this list forms. Yeah, really tough competition. So this is kind of one of the reasons why I try to avoid the guys under 600k. Obviously, like Walsh was in that range, and a few of the next gen guys are coming. But yeah, going down to like a Cripps, who I'm a little unsure on, even Taranto, the competition at M8, there's going to be a bit of a difference, I believe, at some stage. So see how that works out. Obviously, those players with like Taranto and stuff have an advantage now, but later on it might hurt. But we'll see how it pans out. So anyway, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys soon.